I almost lost my career over a bowel movement. Not mine, thankfully, it was my coworker Sarah's. She appeared in my doorway looking like she'd just seen a ghost. Her face was drained of color, she was sweating, and her eyes were darting around like she was being hunted. She leaned in, whispering that she'd created a blockage so monumental that it defied the very laws of physics. She was panicking. Consequently, she grabbed my arm and dragged me toward the executive restroom, begging for backup. I stepped into the room and immediately regretted it. The smell was an absolute assault on the senses, thick, heavy, and practically visible. It was foul, nevertheless, I knew we were trapped. We didn't have a plunger. The office budget barely covered coffee, let alone basic sanitation tools. I peered into the bowl. The water was dark, turbulent, and rising dangerously close to the rim. It was a structural masterpiece of disaster. Sarah looked at me, paralyzed by the threat of immediate termination if the boss walked in. Therefore, I scanned the counter and grabbed a stack of stiff, glossy marketing brochures from the CEO's recent retreat. I handed one to her. We were in this together now. I stood guard at the door, peering through the glass at the elevator bank. Yet, every time I checked the hallway, I had to suppress a manic laugh. It was the most ridiculous manual labor of my professional life. As a result, I found myself pacing, heart hammering against my ribs, while Sarah performed emergency surgical strikes on the porcelain abyss using nothing but premium cardstock. She grunted, sweat beading on her forehead. Time was bleeding away. Every second felt like an hour. The pressure of the impending lunch rush was suffocating. So, I signaled for a final, desperate push. She heaved, a horrific wet suction sound echoed through the stall, and then, blissfully, the water vanished. We threw the paper evidence into the trash bin, burying it beneath a mountain of paper towels. We scrubbed our hands until they were raw, gasping for air. We composed ourselves, aiming for professional, and drifted back to our desks just as the elevator pinged. Brenda, our boss, stepped out. She was known for having a nose like a bloodhound and a penchant for finding faults. She marched right past the crime scene, paused, sniffed the air, and smiled. She noted, looking genuinely pleasant. It smells good in here. Is someone burning a candle? We hadn't used a single drop of spray. We didn't have a candle. We were standing in the aftermath of a biological disaster that should have leveled the building, yet here she was, praising the ambience. Consequently, the silence between Sarah and me turned heavy. We just stared at our screens, the secret of that good smell forever etched into our professional bond. It was a lingering, haunting mystery that neither of us dared to explain. I haven't used that bathroom since. I don't think I ever will. The irony was not lost on me. We spent years climbing the corporate ladder, earning degrees, and striving for professional excellence, only to find our most high-stakes project was essentially professional plumbing. It redefined my relationship with office decor and corporate loyalty. Every time I walk past that door now, I don't see a restroom, I see a war zone. I see a testament to the fact that no matter how professional your LinkedIn profile looks, everyone is just one bad lunch away from a total, humiliating collapse. Sarah and I never spoke about it again, but we share a look now, a specific, terrifying glance, whenever someone mentions the fresh smell of the office. We are brothers and sisters in the trenches of the worst kind of corporate warfare. And honestly, I think we're both better for it. It taught me that real teamwork isn't about meeting deadlines or crushing quotas. It's about knowing which of your coworkers will grab a brochure when things hit the fan, and which ones will leave you to sink with the ship. They say you don't really know your coworkers until you've been through the trenches together. Some people bond over late-night projects or team-building retreats. Sarah and I bonded over let's call it, plumbing emergency. It's the kind of thing that makes you friends for life, or, at the very least, friends who never make eye contact in the break room again. But honestly, looking back, it changed how I see my team. We're all so busy trying to maintain this professional facade, terrified of looking messy or incompetent. But we're all human. We're all just doing our best to keep the pipes from bursting, both literally and figuratively. If you've got a work story that's even half as chaotic, or a moment where you realized your coworker was a ride or die, let me know in the comments. I read all of them, and I'm dying to know if anyone else has a story that tops this one. The office is a much weirder place than the HR handbook lets on, and I want to hear your side of it.